welcome to today's Reflect and Rejoice. My name is Hannah and today I'm just going to spend a few moments talking about Psalm 46 and a few verses that have been an encouragement to me recently. It's not a particularly long psalm, but today I'm just going to read verses 1 through to 3 and then finish with the final 2 verses. I'm reading from the ESV version, so if you want to grab your Bible and read along with me, that would be great, starting at verse 1. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear though the earth gives way, though the mountains be moved into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble at its swelling. Verse 10. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. Now, 2020 has been a year of complete chaos for us all with COVID-19, coronavirus, and I'm sure that it has sparked so many questions of, God, what are you doing? Where are you in this situation? What is your plan? What is your purpose for 2020? What is the purpose for this pain and COVID-19? And there has been a huge spike in people struggling with mental health, with depression, with anxiety, with eating disorders, with OCD, due to COVID-19. And I just wanted to spend a few moments encouraging you that if you are struggling right now, that God is still in control, even though it feels like he might not be. We have the opportunity to be able to speak truth over our situations and remind ourselves that no matter what is happening in this earth, God is still in control. Something that has been a huge encouragement to me recently, as I have been battling a lot of feelings of anxiety myself, is that Jesus knows exactly what I am walking through in this moment. And one of the best examples I could think of was thinking when Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane and he was preparing for crucifixion. Now, Hebrews 4 verse 15 reminds us that Jesus entered into the full range of the human experience, yet without sin. So this just reminds us that Jesus knows exactly what it feels like to be anxious. He knows exactly what it feels like to be depressed. And he can come right beside us and he walks with us through the shadow of darkness and even the shadow of death because he knows what it feels like. Now, as he was anticipating the cross, Jesus was so anguished that Luke 22 verses 44 describes that his sweat became like great drops of blood. Now, he said to his father, he said, "Father, if you are willing, remove this cup from me." He said, "God, if there is a way out, if there is another way for this to be done, I want out. I want the alternative option." Because he wanted to avoid the cross, because the thought of being pierced and bruised and beaten was so overwhelming and was causing Jesus so much anxiety. Yet, in all of this pain that Jesus was dealing with, he said, "Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done." And he repeated this prayer 2 more times, that he wanted God's will to be done. And I think Jesus' response to his distress gives us insight into how we can steward our own current distresses in a coronavirus world. And I also think that Jesus' response to the brokenness of this world shows us that psychological distress does not indicate a lack of faith, because Jesus went through it himself. Instead, it confirms that we inhabit a world where we have much to feel distressed about. If Jesus experienced anxiety himself, how can we expect otherwise? Our own mental distress reminds us that this world that we live in is cursed. It reminds us that we inhabit the already but not yet tension of God's story. We know that we are in this world just for a short time, and we're not always going to be here, but one day we'll be with our Father in eternity, where there will be no more pain, no more anxiety, no more depression, no more OCD, no more overwhelming and irrational thoughts, no more coronavirus. And I just want to encourage you that if you are feeling like you are anxious with everything that is going on right now, that number one, Jesus is with us because he has experienced it himself. He knows exactly what we're going through. And number two, that we can be still and be reminded of who God is. Verse 10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." And then verse 11 goes on to say, "The Lord of hosts is with us." We can be sure, even though this whole world feels like it's going out of control, that he is in control. One thing that I did towards the very start of lockdown back in March is just write out a list of truths of who God is. And I'm going to read a few of those now to you, and I would encourage you to do something similar. I wrote out, God is sovereign. God is on the throne. God is in ultimate control. God is healer. God is hope. God is our provider. He is steadfast. He is here. He is good. He is our rescuer. God is loving, and he loves me and he loves you. God is going to work something good out of this situation. Now, I'd really encourage you to take out a moment to be still and know who God is by declaring those truths over your life. If you are experiencing anxiety, depression maybe, taking a moment out of your day to be still in his presence and declaring who he is over you is so powerful. I would recommend maybe putting them up on your fridge, on a mirror, on your wall, somewhere that you will see them. And just, it's very powerful to declare that over you when you are feeling so overwhelmed and anxious. Anyways, I really pray that this has encouraged you today, and just be, that you have been encouraged, and remember to take that time out on your day to be still and remember who God is. Thank you, and I'll see you soon. Bye.